Good morning. 6:30, I think. What are we doing over here? So we're leaving Windinna and heading west. Let's see where we get to. Reset the trip computer, which is done. Get in there. Reset all values. Done. So there we are. Well, good morning. It's 11 degrees and we're at Windinna, and we're heading west. Get to Border Village, but we'll see where we go with time-wise. If I take any longer to get this freaking jacket on, we'll never get anywhere in the car. I just couldn't get that left arm in, I tell you. It's tired and sore and whatever. Maybe I need a bigger jacket or a smaller tummy, either way. So we're at Windinna, W-U-D, Windinna. The local Berindra people call it the Windinna, which means granite hill, and it's known for its granite crop out rocks, quarries. They make blocks up to 8 cubic metres in length or size, weighing 20 tonnes. We're about 100 kilometres west of Kimber, and Kimber is recognised as being the halfway point between Perth and Sydney. And we're heading west today. As you can see, a little bit of fog around, a bit cool, so we're taking it easy for the first few kilometres till that fog burns off and we can see a bit better. And from here, the next stop for a cup of coffee will be probably Ceduna. Windinna is also famous for the Australian farmer statue, and that is an 8-metre statue made of the local granite. There it is there. Just past it. And again, some silos in town. These ones are not painted, not like these silos in Kimber, which were got some artwork on. But never mind. We'll continue on National Highway number 1, or the Air Highway, heading west. And here we are in Ceduna. As you can see, it's turned into a lovely day. Blue skies, that fog burned off. And just a bit of a run down past the local hotel on the foreshore. Next door to that is a caravan park and chalets. I've stayed there a few times. It's very nice actually, and an easy walk to the pub for a lovely meal. And then the foreshore opposite on the other side there. Just a nice little spot to stay. Or another 70 or 80 k's, you've got Streaky Bay further around the corner, another lovely little spot. And I'll leave you to it. All right, we're about 80 k's west of Ceduna. We're going to call into Penong, and a tribute to the Windmills, or as someone says, a tribute to the farmer's whirling workhorse. They've got about 20 windmills here. Some have been donated and restored. But yeah, it's quite a nice little spot, and they've all got a bit of a story to tell. Some placards on the bottom of each of the windmills, and a dedicated windmill museum. So if you've got time, it's worth a stop and have a look at. Unfortunately, I didn't have time, so we move on. But the Windmills of Penong. The actual Madura Hotel Motel originally opened in 1957. So it's been around for a little while. I just make comment, they've got this white ute and a caravan, just decided to park in the middle of nowhere. They blocked everybody else coming in and out of the pumps. So that's a comment I make to the car behind, albeit the BMW, but he just can't get out because there's other idiots parked in the front. Anyway, that's Madura Roadhouse. Fuel, petrol and diesel, and accommodation if need be. But I don't think a lot would stay there. It's probably a bit too close to Ceduna, and most people will be trying to get through to the border, and we go from there. Anyway, back on the highway and we continue on. And here we are about another 50 kilometres further west, having gone from Nundru Roadhouse. We're now at Yalata Roadhouse. This was closed for a long time, but it's been recently opened and it's all new and modern again. You can see the construction there, all clean and tidy. And to note that there's no underground fuel tanks. All the fuel is actually stored in these two glorified sea containers. Well, they're not obviously, but yeah, all above ground. So yeah, quite unique. Maybe a bit easier on contamination of the soil, etc. It's all contained within that tank, above ground, easy to maintain. And around about 160 kilometres from Yalata, or close to 370 kilometres from Ceduna west, is the entrance to the Great Australian Bight. It's about 12 k's off the highway, obviously towards the coast. And here we are, just pulling into the, they've got a lookout centre and abolition blocks, etc. You can see the number of people on the road, caravans and even cars and campers. The weather's just magnificent, by the way. It's just really turned into a lovely day. So we'll pull up here, have a walk through the lookout centre or the tourist centre, and then down to the coast and see what we can see of the Bight.
No, thanks.
Hi, how we going? Midday-ish, give or take. Oh, probably a bit later, 1 o'clock or something. Anyway, we're at the head of the Bight, the Great Australian Bight. Still obviously well into South Australia. Got to get to where we're going to get to. Nullarbor Roadhouse still to go, and then on to Border Village in Eucla. So probably 300 or 400 k's still, 300 k's from the border. But yeah, here we are. Great Australian Bight, which is where the sand hills and sand dunes stop. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. And it'll turn into the cliff faces, the 300-foot cliff faces. And well, there's some footage of that for you. Otherwise, it's going well. I hope you're enjoying travelling with me, seeing a couple of sights as we move along, and we'll continue to do so. All right, all the best. Bye. The border walk. Down the border walk. At the head of the Bight, still in South Australia. And then we'll go back up the boardwalk and go to the right. There's some lookouts, and I think you can start to see that's your cliff face. In front of us, with the sand hills, sand dunes, looking back into South Australia. The head of the Bight. There we go, the head of the Bight. Great Australian Bight. The head, I guess, from where the sand dunes stop and the cliff face starts. And we work our way through to 300-foot cliffs. We're probably, well, so they stop in Eucla, so it's probably 400 kilometres of cliff face. 300. Okay, back on the road. Travel with me and enjoy the view. Thanks, all the best. So here we are at another lookout for the cliff face of the greatest Ruggian bight, and those cliffs run all the way back through to the head of the bight where we started, and we're now not that far from the SA-WA border, and here we are, having said that. So there's the big roo. This is SA-WA border and border village roadhouse and checkpoints for the border, fruit and what else, fruit fly, etc. And then from there it's another 12 kilometres to Eucla. Eucla's the police station, WA Police, and there's no police here at Border Village. The South Australian Police are based back in Sajuna, so a bit of a gap. We go through that checkpoint, they check for fruit and whatever else they look for, and we pass through Eucla, 12 k's down the road, and here we are heading down what's known as Eucla Pass, where we drop down from that plateau back down to the coastal plain, I guess a height of probably 300 feet. From there we run into Madura Roadhouse, which is about 80 k's from the SA-WA border, or what's that, 1,300 kilometres from Perth. And back on the highway, next stop for bed, Madura Roadhouse. The sun's setting, it's getting on in the evening a little bit. Some lovely cloud formation, so I'm interested to see what sort of sunset we get with this. But let's travel along for the ride and see what we see. Madura Roadhouse, probably another couple of 100 kilometres from here, just under maybe. All the best. Just on sunset, Madura Roadhouse, at the bottom of Madura Pass. So I'll just pull in and check in, make sure I get some dinner. So close to 7 o'clock now. Here we are, made it to Madura Pass. Big day, 907 k's. Yeah, good day in the saddle. We would have stopped at Border Village, SA-WA border. Or well, to try Eucla, but Border Village, but they didn't have any accommodation. So we phoned through to here and got room here at Madura Pass. So that put another 2 hours on the trip and 200 k's or whatever. So I say a total of 970 for the day, but been a good day. Nice sunset, a couple of sights to see. Hope you've enjoyed the trip. We'll do it all again tomorrow. Okay, all the best. Good night. Well, over 9 hours in the saddle and 907 kilometres on the day. Windana through till Madura Roadhouse, through Sajuna, Penong with the Windmills, down to the head of the bight, see the cliffs, the SA-WA border, and then on through to Madura Roadhouse with a shot of the night sky I'm going to put the drone up. The drone's actually the following morning, but just so you've had a look of Madura Roadhouse from the air. Here we go. Well, the end of another day and a bit of an adventure. Windana through to Madura Roadhouse. We saw a few of the roadhouses on the way, every 300 k's or so down the highway. We saw the great cliffs on the Australian Bight. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, a like or subscribe would be fantastic. Give me a comment. Hopefully you travel with me on the next one. I really appreciate you coming along for the ride. All the best. Bye.